Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mighty Habits. I'm Steven, your guide to, well, unlocking those hidden reservoirs of potential we all have, just waiting to be tapped into.
And I'm Mary here to navigate the map to get there.
Yeah, today we're diving deep into the world of achievement, personal growth,
Level up.
level up. Yeah, exactly. It's less about, that inborn talent and more about building the right stuff within.
That's right. We're going to be exploring insights from Think Again by Adam Grant, which challenges us to question our assumptions and really embrace a more flexible mindset.
This one really struck me because I feel like so often we think potential is this fixed thing. You're either born with it or you're not. But
Right.
what if it's more like a muscle you can train?
That's exactly the premise that Grant explored.
Oh, interesting.
It's less about the predetermined genius and more about cultivated character when it comes to achieving great things.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. Where does character development even fit into this picture of unlocking potential?
Hmm.
I mean, isn't it more about skills or knowledge?
Well, imagine building a house. Skills and knowledge are definitely the bricks and mortar. But character is the foundation that you build upon.
Die.
It's about those underlying traits that determine how you approach challenges, setbacks, and even success.
So what are some of those foundational character traits,
Yeah.
that Grant highlights as being crucial?
Mm.
What are we laying down as the concrete, so to speak?
One that stands out is resilience.
Okay.
And it's not just about bouncing back from setbacks, it's about how quickly you rebound.
Oh, okay.
Think of it like this. You have two rubber balls.
Yeah.
One takes ages to bounce back and the other one springs right up. That's the difference in resilience, and that impacts how much you can keep moving forward.
Okay, that's a great analogy. So it's not about avoiding setbacks altogether.
Mhm.
It's about shortening that recovery time,
Right.
that downtime that can really hold us back.
Precisely.
Okay, cool.
And then there's grit,
Okay.
which Grant distinguishes from simply working hard. Grit is that unwavering commitment to long-term goals, that ability to persist even when things get tough.
So less about burning bright and fast and more about the slow, steady burn that keeps you going when others might fizzle out.
Exactly. You need that inner fire to navigate the inevitable obstacles and setbacks on the path to achieving anything worthwhile.
Okay, resilience and grit.
Uh-huh.
Got it. Any others that stand out?
Well, one that sometimes gets overlooked is humility.
Humility.
Yeah. It's about being open to learning, admitting when you're wrong, and seeking feedback from others. We often associate achieving great things with confidence,
Right.
but a healthy dose of humility can be even more crucial for growth.
That's interesting. I can see how being overly confident might make you less receptive to feedback and new ideas. But isn't there a danger in being too humble? Could it make you doubt yourself and hold you back?
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's about finding that balance. It's not about putting yourself down, but recognizing that you don't have all the answers
Yeah.
and being open to learning from others. Grant actually emphasizes that seeking feedback is a skill in itself,
Okay.
one that we can develop to our advantage.
So this idea of actively seeking feedback, is that more about asking for advice or is it something different?
That's where it gets really interesting. Grant makes a clear distinction between seeking advice and seeking feedback.
Okay.
And understanding the difference can be a game changer in how we approach our growth.
All right. Here's break it down for us. What's the difference and why does it matter?
Okay, think of it this way. Feedback is like looking in a mirror. It helps you evaluate your current identifying areas where you're excelling and areas where you might need to adjust.
So feedback is more about assessing what's already been done, like a progress report.
Exactly.
Oh.
Whereas advice is more like a compass pointing you toward your desired destination. It's about seeking guidance on how to navigate challenges, make decisions, and ultimately achieve your goals.
So advice is about looking ahead, strategizing.
Yeah.
And feedback is about reviewing what's behind you. I can see how, confusing those two could lead you down the wrong path.
Absolutely. And knowing when to seek each one is key. Sometimes we're so focused on getting feedback on what we've done that we forget to seek advice on what to do next.
That really hits home for me. I remember when I was first starting out in my career, I was obsessed with getting feedback on every little thing. I wanted to make sure I was doing everything right.
It's a common trap, especially when you're starting out and eager to prove yourself.
Exactly. But I later realized that all that feedback, while well-intentioned, wasn't actually helping me move forward. It was keeping me stuck in this cycle of analysis paralysis. What I really needed was advice on how to take those next steps, how to navigate the challenges I was facing, and chart a course towards my goals.
That's a perfect example of how understanding that distinction can make all the difference. Feedback can be incredibly valuable for refining your skills,
Right.
but advice empowers you to make informed decisions and take strategic action.
And both are essential for unlocking our potential. It's like having both a rear view mirror and a GPS. You need both to navigate the road ahead effectively.
That's a great way to put it. And this brings us to another crucial aspect of unlocking potential, which is the role of coaches and mentors.
Ah, yes, the guides and champions on our journey.
hmm
But what's the difference between a coach and a mentor? And why do we need both?
Well, think of a coach as a skilled trainer, someone who helps you develop specific skills, refine your techniques, and push you to perform at your best.
Hmm.
They're focused on performance enhancement, like a sports coach who analyzes your strengths and weaknesses to create a tailored training plan.
So a coach is like a specialist helping you level up in specific areas?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Whereas a mentor is more of a trusted advisor, someone who's been there, done that,
Yeah.
and can offer wisdom, perspective, and support based on their own
So
experiences.
it's less about the technical skills and more about navigating the bigger picture, the overall
Yeah.
journey with their guidance.
Exactly. A mentor is someone you can confide and bounce ideas off of and seek advice from when facing those big life decisions or career crossroads. They've walked similar paths and can offer invaluable insights to help you avoid pitfalls and make more informed choices.
So it's like having a seasoned explorer guiding you through unfamiliar territory.
Uh,
They can point out potential hazards and offer encouragement when the going gets tough. And I'd imagine having both a coach and a mentor in your corner could be incredibly beneficial.
Absolutely.
Right.
They offer different but complementary forms of support. One to hone your skills and push you to perform, and the other to offer wisdom, guidance, and support along the way.
It's like having a dynamic duo in your corner, each playing a crucial role in helping you reach your full potential.
Exactly. It's not just about our individual efforts,
Mm-hmm.
but also about building a supportive network that empowers us to thrive.
And speaking of thriving, there's one final point from Think Again that I want to touch on. This idea of aiming for excellence, not perfection.
Ah, yes. The eternal struggle between striving for greatness and getting caught in the trap of perfectionism.
This one really resonates with me because I know I've often fallen into that perfectionism trap, and it can be absolutely paralyzing. It's like you're so afraid of making a mistake that you end up not doing anything at all.
It's a common challenge, and understanding the difference between excellence and perfection is crucial for unlocking our true potential.
So let's break that down. What are the key distinctions between these two mindsets? Because on the surface, they seem pretty similar.
Yeah, you're right. They can be tricky to differentiate. But excellence is about striving for high standards, setting ambitious goals, and constantly seeking improvement. It's about putting in your best effort and pushing yourself to reach new heights.
So it's about growth progress
Mm,
and a commitment to producing quality work without getting hung up on every little detail.
exactly.
Yeah.
But perfectionism, on the other hand, is driven by fear.
Mm.
It's about the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and the fear of not being good enough.
And that fear can be so debilitating that it prevents us from taking risks, trying new things, and ultimately from reaching our full potential.
It's like we build this self-imposed prison, afraid to step outside the lines and embrace the messiness of growth.
And Think Again reminds us that excellence is not about being flawless. It's about being courageous enough to put your work out there, to embrace imperfections, and to learn from your mistakes. There's this great quote that sums it up perfectly. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be better than you were yesterday.
I love that.
Right.
It shifts the focus from an unattainable ideal to a continuous journey of progress and growth.
It's about embracing the process, learning from our stumbles, and celebrating our wins along the way without beating ourselves up for not being perfect.
And when we release the grip of perfectionism, we free ourselves to experiment, to innovate, and to create work that truly reflects our unique talents and passions.
It's about embracing the beauty of imperfection and recognizing that our flaws are often what make us interesting, relatable, and human.
And ultimately, it's about finding joy in the journey, in the pursuit of excellence, rather than getting bogged down in the pursuit of an unattainable ideal.
So to recap, we've covered some incredible insights from Think Again on unlocking our hidden potential. We've talked about the importance of cultivating character traits like resilience, grit, humility, and curiosity.
We've explored the crucial distinction between seeking advice and seeking feedback, recognizing that both play different but essential roles in our growth.
And we've discussed the value of having both coaches and mentors in our corner, guiding and supporting us along the way.
And finally, we've addressed the importance of striving for excellence, not perfection. Recognizing that growth is a continuous process and that embracing our imperfections is key to unlocking our full potential.
Wow, that was a lot to unpack. But I feel like we've just scratched the surface of think again. I'm already feeling inspired to rethink some of my own assumptions and embrace a more flexible mindset.
Me too.
Yeah,
There's so much wisdom packed into this book, and it's definitely one that I'd recommend to anyone who's looking to unlock their potential and achieve greater things in life.
absolutely. If you're ready to challenge your thinking, embrace a growth mindset, and step into a world of infinite possibilities, then Think Again is a must-read.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Think Again, be sure to subscribe to Mighty Habits for more thought-provoking episodes like this one. We'll be exploring a wide range of topics related to personal growth, productivity, and achieving your goals.
We're here to help you learn, grow, and become the best version of yourself. So hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey of discovery.
This whole conversation about embracing imperfection and focusing on progress reminds me of another book that really resonated with me, Mindset: The New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck.
Oh, that's a classic. I've heard so much about Dweck's work on growth mindset. How does it tie into what we've been discussing about unlocking potential?
Well, Dweck's research really dives into how our beliefs about our abilities, whether we believe they're fixed or can be developed, dramatically impact our outcomes.
Okay.
It's like she gives us the psychological framework for why embracing imperfection, as Grant suggests, is so crucial.
So it's not just about feeling good about our flaws. It's about fundamentally shifting our beliefs about whether we can change and grow in the first place.
Exactly. She talks about two primary mindsets, fixed and growth. People with a fixed mindset tend to believe that their intelligence, talents, and abilities are predetermined and unchangeable, like you're either born smart or you're not.
So if you hit a roadblock or struggle with something, it's easy to just assume, well, I guess I'm just not good at this and give up.
Precisely, whereas those with a growth mindset believe that their abilities can be developed through hard work, learning, and persistence. They see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to learn and grow.
So hitting that same roadblock becomes a chance to figure out a new approach, to get creative, and to ultimately stretch their abilities.
Exactly, and the research is pretty clear. People with a growth mindset are more likely to achieve higher levels of success in various areas of life. They embrace challenges, persist through setbacks, and ultimately learn more effectively.
It's amazing how a simple shift in belief can have such a profound impact on our outcomes.
Mm.
It's like upgrading your mental operating system,
Yeah.
going from I can't to I can learn to.
It really is, and it ties back into everything we've been discussing about character development. Resilience, grit, humility. These are all qualities that thrive in a growth mindset environment.
That makes total sense. If you believe you can grow and learn from setbacks, you're going to be more resilient. If you see challenges as opportunities, you're going to be more likely to persist with grit. And if you believe you can always learn and improve, you're going to be more open to feedback and new ideas, fostering humility.
It's all interconnected, and the beauty of it is a growth mindset is something we can cultivate. It's not something we're stuck with.
So how do we actually go about shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Are there specific strategies we can use?
Absolutely. One of the most effective strategies is to become aware of your self-talk. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when you face challenges or setbacks. Do you tend to use fixed mindset language like, I'm not good at this, or I'll never be able to do this?
I know, I'm definitely guilty of that sometimes. It's so easy to fall into those negative thought patterns.
It's a common trap, but the good news is that we can retrain our brains to think more positively. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, try reframing it as, I'm not good at this yet. That simple shift in language acknowledges that you have the potential to grow and improve.
So it's about focusing on the process of learning and growth rather than getting fixated on the outcome. Instead of beating yourself up for not being perfect, you celebrate the small wins along the way.
Exactly. And another powerful strategy is to surround yourself with people who have a growth mindset. When you're constantly exposed to positive, encouraging messages about learning and growth, it starts to rub off on you.
That makes sense. It's like creating a positive feedback loop. The more you hear and see growth mindset in action, the more likely you are to adopt it yourself. And speaking of feedback, I think it's worth revisiting the distinction between seeking advice and seeking feedback in the context of a growth mindset.
That's a great point. I think understanding that distinction can really help us maximize our growth potential. When we approach challenges with a growth mindset, we become more receptive to both advice and feedback because we see them as valuable tools for learning and improvement.
So instead of seeing feedback as criticism, We see it as an opportunity to identify areas where we can grow and develop.
Yeah.
And we see advice as a guiding light helping us navigate those uncharted territories and make more informed decisions.
Exactly. And I think the key is to be proactive in seeking out both advice and feedback. Don't wait for it to come to you. Actively reach out to mentors, coaches, colleagues, and even friends who you trust to give you honest and constructive input.
That's a great point. Sometimes we can be so focused on trying to figure things out on our own that we forget to tap into the wealth of knowledge and experience that's available to us.
It's like trying to build a house without any blueprints or tools. Sure, you might be able to cobble something together, but it's going to be a lot more challenging, and the end result might not be as sturdy or as impressive.
That's a great analogy. And it highlights the importance of having those guides and mentors in our corner, those who can offer a different perspective, a fresh set of eyes, and the encouragement we need to keep pushing forward.
And it's important to remember that seeking guidance isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and a commitment to growth. It's about recognizing that we don't have all the answers and that we can learn from others.
It's fascinating how all these concepts, character development, seeking advice, embracing a growth mindset, are so interconnected. It's like they're all pieces of the same puzzle.
Yeah.
And when we put them together, we start to see a clearer picture of how to unlock our hidden potential.
It's like we're building a framework for personal growth, and each piece we add makes the structure stronger and more resilient.
And as we continue to explore these concepts, we're not just gaining knowledge, we're developing the skills and strategies we need to actually apply these ideas in our own lives.
Exactly. It's not just about understanding the theory, it's about putting it into practice and experiencing the transformative power of a growth mindset firsthand.
And I think that's a great place to pause for now. We've covered a lot of ground in this episode, from cultivating character traits to embracing a growth mindset to seeking guidance from others. And in the next part, we'll dive even deeper into some practical strategies for putting all of this into action.
As we delve deeper into this whole idea of unlocking potential, it strikes me that we often get so caught up in the big picture,
All right.
that we overlook the small everyday actions that truly shape our journey.
That's a great point. It's easy to get overwhelmed by these grand ideas of character development and growth mindset, but ultimately it's the small, consistent habits that make all the difference.
Yeah, it's like the difference between setting a New Year's resolution to get in shape versus actually lacing up your shoes and going for a run every day.
Or saying you want to be more resilient versus practicing those micro moments of bouncing back from small setbacks throughout the day.
Exactly. It's those little wins, those tiny triumphs over procrastination or self-doubt that build the foundation for lasting change.
This reminds me of another book that really resonated with me, Atomic Habits by James Clear. He dives deep into the science of habit formation and how tiny changes can lead to remarkable results over time.
Oh, I love that book. Clear's approach is so practical and insightful.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that we don't need to make radical changes overnight. It's about focusing on those 1% improvements that compound over time.
It's like the idea of compound interest but applied to personal growth. Small, consistent efforts can accumulate into significant gains over the long run.
And one of the key insights from Atomic Habits is the importance of focusing on systems rather than goals.
It's counterintuitive. Could you elaborate on that?
Sure. Well, we often get fixated on achieving specific goals, like losing weight, writing a book, or getting a promotion.
Right.
But Clear argues that it's more effective to focus on building the systems and habits that support those goals.
So instead of obsessing over the outcome, we should focus on the process, the daily actions that move us in the right direction.
Precisely. It's about creating an environment that makes it easier to stick to those positive habits. For example, if you want to read more books, make sure you always have a book readily available and designate a specific time for reading each day.
Make it impossible to ignore, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And Clear provides a framework for building better habits. He calls it the 4 laws of behavior change.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
The first law is to make it obvious. This is about designing your environment to make the desired behavior more prominent. For example, if you want to drink more water, keep a water bottle on your desk at all times.
So you can't miss it.
Yeah, make it impossible to ignore. The second law is to make it attractive. This is about associating the desired behavior with something you enjoy. For example, if you dread working out, find a workout buddy or listen to your favorite music while you exercise.
Turn that chore into something you actually look forward to. I like it.
The third law is to make it easy. This is about removing any friction or obstacles that might prevent you from performing the desired behavior. For example, if you want to cook more meals at home, meal prep on the weekends so you have healthy ingredients readily available.
Minimize the effort, maximize the results.
Precisely. And the fourth law is to make it satisfying. This is about rewarding yourself for performing the desired behavior. This could be something as simple as giving yourself a pat on the back or enjoying a small treat after completing a workout.
It's about associating the behavior with positive feelings, which makes it more likely you'll stick with it.
Exactly. And these four laws can be applied to any habit you're trying to build or break.
So it's not just about willpower or motivation. It's about strategically designing your environment and habits to support your goals.
Precisely. And as we wrap up this deep dive into unlocking hidden potential, I think it's important to remember that this is an ongoing journey. It's not about reaching a destination, but about embracing the process of growth and learning.
It's about constantly seeking out new challenges, embracing our imperfections, and striving for excellence in all that we do.
And it's about finding joy in the journey, celebrating the small wins, and never giving up on our dreams.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Mighty Habits. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and inspiration to unlock your own hidden potential.
And remember, you have within you the power to shape your destiny. Embrace a growth mindset, seek guidance, strive for excellence, and never stop learning.
And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to Mighty Habits for more thought-provoking deep dives into fascinating topics. We're here to help you learn, grow, and become the best version of yourself.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep unlocking your hidden potential. The world is waiting for your unique contributions.